And so then that kind of leads into our next episode, episode 5, right? Like, it opens up with Tay practicing for the regular exam. His spot's been giving up, so I'm pretty sure his spot probably went to like the second person on the wait list.
Yeah, it is such a shame, like when you really think about like all the money that was involved and all of the effort, and that like they both gave up this guaranteed slot so that they could get in on of their own merit.
Yeah, the thing is, the direct exam is their own merit too, right? Like,
well, right. But now they're back to square one.
Yeah, square one, and they both have to do the exam.
Yeah.
So it's like, not only did they both waste all that money, well, Tay wasted all that money, got in, and then gave up his spot. Now he can't get it back, right?
Yeah.
So he's practicing for the exam. I do love, though, how O is still using the flashcards that Tay gave him. I am super saddened when Tay deletes the chat history between him and O.
Oh, I was like, please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Yeah,
don't press that button. And then he did, and I was like, ah.
Yeah, but at the same time, right, it's like, you have to realize he's thinking O might not ever talk to him again, so he just deletes it. It's just interesting, because later on, I think it's like later on in the episode, but he has his phone open to the chat. I was just cracking up at that. I was like, oh man, you want to text him, but you can't because you both are being silly and won't message each other first.
Yeah, they're too hard-headed. They're not swallowing their pride. And I mean, in this context, too, it makes a lot of sense because what went down was pretty crummy for both parties.
Yeah.
The fact that they're actually able to recover at all
is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's just that experience from middle school, right? They're just like, let's not do this again. so I think that's probably what happens later on. But like, yeah, so Tay practices, he goes down, he tries to give the money back to his brother, but his brother's like, no, keep it for your tuition.
Oh, his brother. What a champ.
Best older brother ever, right?
Yeah, he is like the sweetest.
Yeah, he's like, no, just keep the money. And also probably because his brother's like, you literally just probably went through the worst heartbreak I witnessed. Like,
yeah,
you cried your heart out. A week later, you cried your heart out again. It's like, no, dude, just keep the money. Yeah, I think this is the heartbreaking part. They resume going to Chinese class.
Mm-hmm.
Tae's friends cheer him up. At this point, OU is sitting with Boss, opposite side. I think Maud asks like, hey, how are things with you and O now? And Tae's like, oh, it's nothing. And I'm like, you really think they believe you? Like, oh, it would be with you right now if that were true, right? And but yeah, they start giving blessings, right? When they ask Lao Shi to give blessings.
Yeah, and sort of like a round robin style.
Yeah, so like Maud gives one to Tae gives one to Philip, and it's funny because Tae kind of hints like, Philip. You take the things you're given. You're not ungrateful. I was like,
look at this guy. He's not bad.
Yeah, I was like, you are so giving Oeo a hard time.
Yeah, he is.
But he was about to bless Oeo. Like, just the look between them. I was like, oh, you so want to. Just do it. Like, I'm sure it will start mending things.
Yeah. But it's like comes back to them being prideful and hard-headed, and they don't want to do the right thing, which is to, make reparations. Yeah,
and just start healing and try to recover. And then what happens because of this is O blesses Boss. Boss then blesses O. So for our listeners, basically the round robin's going like, once you're blessed, you're the one that has to give the next blessing, right? So Philip had blessed OU, and then OU blessed Boss, and then Boss had to ask Lao Shi, because he wasn't sure, like, can I still bless Boss again?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Lao Shi's like, yeah, go ahead. Like, it's your guys' stuff, right? And so Boss not only blesses OU at this point, he just fesses up that he likes OU.
Yep.
And asks OU to open up his heart. It's interesting because I saw the teacher like walk up behind Tay.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, is the teacher like, you know, getting up close just to make sure in case someone has a bad reaction to, you know, same-sex relationship?
Yeah, he kind of steps in and he's like, okay, this is getting a little personal.
Yeah. It's like, he probably also wanted to make sure, like, if anyone had a problem with this, he would shut them down immediately, right? Like, and so, like, he walks in, he's like, okay, I think that's a good start. Why don't we take a break so you two can go talk about it?
Yeah, I feel like it was more that he didn't want it to become this, like, public display, right?
Yeah, well, he probably didn't want OU to feel awkward, right, in having to respond to. And, like, it was already public enough.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't need a reply to be public too. But I think what's notable is this is where Tay finally realizes he's lost O.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Like the focus on Tez's whole face, his crying, he is like literally shook to his core at this point, and he realizes what he has lost.
It's interesting because the way they filmed this, if you look at the behind the scene documentary, right, like, you know, the cameras were in their face, basically.
Yeah.
Basically, for, like, when they zoomed in on Tay's face, you do see in the behind the scenes, the actor for OL was, like, on his knees in front of Tay to help Tay's actor, like, you know, get the emotional crying.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah,
the actors, you know, helped each other out with this part because, like, Tay had to be emotional on this part, right?
Yeah. And really be in character.
Also at this point, Tay's already tried, I think, get the principal, I think, to let him retake certain exams because his GPA has tanked.
Oh, yeah. But it's not happening.
It's not happening because the principal wants him to learn a life lesson. I'm like, oh, that's kind of a dick move, but okay. I mean, it is Tay's fault for not showing up. Like, why should I give you a second chance, right?
Yeah.
But given that he was such a good student, I thought he might have given him a second chance. Like before, but yeah, so don't give up when you're a senior in high school, kids.
Yeah, don't give your first seed at Harvard to your best friend just in case.
And then on the day of the exam, Boss and O came separately from the other friends, right? And so Tay gets it. They all take photos of their exam number so they can look at each other's results. And so Tay, after that happens, Tay sees, you know, OO showing Boss to take the step with the left foot. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh no, he's going to cry. And then they're all walking to their classrooms for the exam. And then the firecrackers go off. So, like, O and Tay, like, hide behind the same wall, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they greet each other.
He's almost pushed to tears. Like, you can see him sort of like kind of break down, but then he kind of like quickly comes back.
Yeah, but when he hears about how O and Boss have been together for a while, since the confession, pretty much, yeah, he just breaks down to the point where he can't focus on the exam anymore.
Oh, that was brutal.
Yeah, he had to run to the bathroom.
Yeah, and he's like crying openly in class too.
Yeah.
Like all the other students are probably like, "What is this kid's deal? Did he just lose like his best friend? Like literally?"
You know, if I were the teacher, I'd be like, "Dude, do you need to like take this on another day? Like you are not in any condition to take this exam, right?" And so like because of that though, like time runs out when he's on like question 92 or something. And he, like, rushes the last 8 questions. So it's a combo of that, and then also his poor GPA that when result day comes around, he doesn't get the university he wants.
Right.
Which is heartbreaking because, like, O gets into On a Start. on his own merit. And I thought, like, how cheerful O's parents were was just super amazing. Like, they're like, oh my God!
Yeah,
and they, like,
that was
ran
really
into the
cute.
water.
Yeah.
And then, you know, all the friends are excited. They all text the group chat. And, like, Tay is, like, you know, waiting with his mom. Because his result hasn't popped up yet. And so when it pops up, you know, he's super stressed. And his mom is the first one to see he got into his second choice. And all his mom cares is he got into a university in a department he wanted, right? So he got communication arts at his second choice. And he really wanted Anastar to the point that he kind of just, like, told his mom, like, I really wanted this one, and then walks off. And she, like, chases after him to try to comfort him.
Yeah.
This is where you see that it still cares, right? He checks Tay's result.
Yeah.
And his face is like, oh, he didn't get in.
He didn't get in. I think the talk with his brother was probably, for me, the most poignant part of this episode.
Oh, yeah. So that's after they take the exam and before the results, right?
Tae kind of approaching his brother for moral support, emotional support, and his brother was just coming in clutch for him. Like, he basically was like, is it about Tarn or is it about Oeo? Like, I'm not stupid.
Tae just, like, looks up, like, shocked.
Yeah, and then just, you know, a really beautiful conversation unfolds. But what I love about what the brother said is, listen, there's going to be people in the world that are going to be okay with this, and there's going to be people in the world that are not. But he's like, I'm okay with it, and I want you to know that. And it's no one else's place to tell you, like, what is okay and what is not, right? That's up for you to decide.
Yeah, and I feel like not only was the brother okay with it, right? Like, the brother's like, it's okay to like anyone you want. And, like, as to the concern about their mom not liking it, Hoon was like, yeah, mom might not like it, but she'll get over it. And in the end, she wants you to be happy, right? So if she knew you were with someone you weren't happy with, she would be unhappy herself.
Yep.
Yeah, he's like, you can tell her when you're ready. If she accepts you, you'll be the luckiest man alive. But don't expect that. But she will get over it because she wants you to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
There's things, like, the second time through, I'm like, she might be a tad more accepting in that the fact that, like, she has known Oeo since, like, literally junior high, middle school. And then, yeah, I feel like, I'm not sure if she knew something was up when, like, Tae was kind of playing off that he was touring O after the first run to the Cape. But she genuinely does like O, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like she would eventually get over it. Yeah, it was very poignant. You're right. It was, like, not only that, like, Hoon's, like, very good at picking up on his brother, too, because, well, they're brothers, right? Like,
yeah.
So that was so sweet of Hoon. And then Hoon's like, look, just do this. Walk up to O, say you like him, and if he doesn't like you, fuck it.
I love that part.
And then he's like, but I'm pretty sure O likes you.
Likes you too.
And Tae cries because he's like, no, he likes Boss. And I'm like, no, he still likes you, dude.
Yeah, you're crazy. He's fine. Like, just because he's with Boss doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's unfortunate for Boss, but, like, let's be real.
Yeah, like, let's be real. Fate has something else in mind, right? Yeah, and then let's go to the Chinese New Year scene, right? A little before the Chinese New Year, though, Boss grabs Oeu's hand, right? And they're, like, walking hand in hand.
Yeah.
For a little bit, and then Oeu's like, aren't you embarrassed? And Boss is like, why should I be? And, like, I think that little growth aspect of, like, Oeo realizing he could be with someone who's just, like, out and proud, I guess, is cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Chinese New Year, yeah. Oh my gosh.
That was really hard because they play the song, the Yongjian, the drama song. And it's a beautiful song, and it's played on piano, and you see the quivering lip of Oh as he's starting to feel these memories of his friendship and his love with Tae come back into his mind. And Boss clearly can see, right before his eyes what's happening and how affected he is by this, that he's not over it. And then you get Tae sitting alone in the hall with the Oeo dessert left on the table.
Yeah.
He hasn't touched it, and he is crying and crying.
Yeah. The thing is, like, how he's alone, and, like, his friends were like, oh, he said he wasn't coming. Mm-hmm. I was like, wait, did Tae request this song? Right? Because the lady's like, Happy Chinese New Year, and it's just started playing Skyline. So, yeah, like, I mean, the thing is, I feel like O also knows the translation of the lyrics because of Tae, and they're pretty powerful considering it was pretty much a confession from Tae to O at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, he like totally breaks down, and Boss is like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?"
But Boss knows what's wrong.
Yeah, Boss knows what's going on.
Boss is pretty sharp, so very observant guy.
So observant that, like, if we go back to after the results come out, right? It takes us to a scene where Boss is driving and O is in the passenger seat, right?
Yeah.
And then Boss is like, oh, where do you want to go? And O's like, anywhere you want to go is fine. And Boss, basically this whole car ride, O is just staring out the window. And then he just, like, notices O is just, like, totally zoned out.
Yeah, he's ready to let O go at this point.
He noticed how sad O is. And he loves O so much that he can't stand to see O sad. Mm-hmm. So he does he literally does the right thing, I feel like. And it shows his maturity. Basically, if he wants to see the man he loves happy, it won't be with him. It'll be with Tae.
Mm-hmm.
After O says, oh, just take me wherever you want to go. And then he takes O to Tae's home. Like, parks across the street, and he's like, oh, just go to Tae. Like, he probably wants to see you the most right now.
But it's actually, he doesn't go in because he isn't ready.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to see Tae sad, right?
Yeah.
I think that is two meanings. He doesn't want to see Tae sad in that moment, but he doesn't want to see Tae sad in general. Because he knows Tae likes him, I think, at that point, for sure. Yeah. And he probably could tell Tae was actually about to break down before the exam. So, so that happens. And then I think what's really another sweet moment is Tarn coming in shortly after this. And Tarn gives Tae a drawing of him as Youngjin. And then they have a talk, or I guess the talk, and like she goes, okay, I want to give you my response to what you've been asking me for 2 years.
Yeah, which is like if I'd become your girlfriend or not.
But I want to hear what your answer, what you're thinking. So he basically confesses he never used her. Like, he genuinely did like her, but now he wants her in his life as a friend. And it's her turn to break down in front of Tae. But she kind of hides it, right? She doesn't, like, confess that.
Yeah, she's pretty strong.
Yeah.
She, I think she came in prepared to tell him that she did like him and did want to try. But, it was obvious as he shared more of his feelings that wasn't happening. So she had to kind of swallow that pill and then, kind of suck it up a bit and be prepared to walk out of it without a romantic relationship with him. Not
only that, right? Like, after she kind of like manages to recover.
Yep.
Just enough that she's not like bawling or but she's still teary-eyed. She's like, what about, have you like Tae's like, I haven't talked to him since the exam day or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, Tae, if you want to congratulate him, don't forget to do it. Like, you can go congratulate him in person if you want. You know that, right? Like, you can congratulate him if you want.
Yeah, she kind of supports him.
Yeah.
And is encouraging him to go fix it. Because she's a woman of action, which I really appreciate about her. Like, she doesn't beat around the bush. She is not aloof. She is very much checked into reality. And, like, she's a great grounding for Tae, who's just kind of all over the place and doesn't really have his own shit figured out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's nice because she's like, I'll always be here for you. And, like...
Right.
It's like she knows at that point that he's too in love with O, right?
Yep. But she doesn't want to throw the friendship away either. Like,
yeah.
She wants to maintain that. Because she knows that he'd be a mess without her.
And now we skip to a scene where, this is where Tae was just looking at the chat with Oeo, right? Like, and it was just blank, nothing there. Oeo walks up in full university dress. So full university dress to our listeners is like, at least for freshmen, right? Is like a button-down tie, dress slacks, and dress shoes, and his backpack. And he's doing this because he promised to run to Protham Cape from Tae's place. So he's like, the look on his face is like, am I gonna run into Tae? Or like, he kind of had a cautious look walking up to the restaurant.
Yeah.
And then Suri's like, oh ew, oh my gosh, you look so handsome. And like, what are you doing here? Are you here to see Tae? He's in the back. You want to go see him?
And he's like, nope. I don't want to see him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go by myself.
He's like, I'm gonna go run. I did this vow, and he tells Sui about it, and she's like, oh, how about I make you some Hokkien mee before you go for energy? He's like, actually, I think I need to go if I want to make it by sunset.
Yeah.
And so he like ties his shoe, shakes his arms out. I think he has this like apprehensive look too, like, because Tae actually had promised to run this with him.
Yeah, so I think he wasn't really sure what was going to happen, like if Tae was going to keep his promise or if Tae was going to ghost him. And I think he was nervous. He was nervous because, maybe he kind of wanted Tae to show up and be there. And maybe he just had like a sliver of hope that Tae was going to honor the promise.
Yeah.
But it also seems like he's not trying to psych himself up too much in case he were to get disappointed. He's definitely treading carefully here.
Yeah. I don't think he actually even let Tae know he was going to run.
I don't think he did, no, but based on the promise that they had made before.
Yeah. He was probably hoping, but like, how is Tae going to show up if he doesn't know, right?
Right.
Unless you sent it in the group chat. But I think what might have happened, right, is he starts running, and it makes me wonder if O had, like, walked down, and then his mom was like, hey, your friend was here, saying he's going to run the Protham Cape. Because, like, before O even showed, he was looking at the Instagram photo, right, of the promise.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if they had made the promise to run on a specific day. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I don't know if they had worked it out, because the story doesn't cover it, right? It just said...
Right, they don't cover it.
They only cover the fact that they made a promise to run together.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, O starts running for a while, it seems. I can't believe he's doing this in dress shoes. So uncomfortable. So he's running, and then out of nowhere, a motorbike with a sidecar filled with coconuts comes Tae. He's like, can the uni student make it?
Yeah.
And O just like looks over like, what the hell are you doing here?
He's miffed. He's like, oh, good for you being Mr. Sarcasm.
Yeah. And then Tae like rides with him to the, basically right where the shrine is, right? The same shrine where the Chinese class is.
Yep.
And he's now drinking a coconut from Tae. It's like, keep drinking. You need your energy. I just thought it was funny because O was just silent the whole time, and Tae's like talking like, hey, let's put some coconuts in your bag. He puts in three coconuts. I'm like, are you trying to make him like fall over or something?
Yeah, I think Tae finally has the confidence to be open.
Yeah.
At this point, like he's clearly made up his mind that he, you know, after talking with his brother, I think he's kind of made up his mind that he's going to potentially confess to O as well, or something, right? Try to make reparations. But O is now on the opposite side of things, where he's more guarded. He's more like, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to listen to you, liar.
Yeah, it's not to that extent. He's just like, why are you here? I feel like, and what are you doing here? Like, I don't want to get my hopes up, right?
Right. Don't lead me on anymore, you jerk.
He looks at Tae like, why are you here? And Tae's like, what? He's like, I need to park the bike here. And then I was like, uh-huh. And Tae's like, I'm going to run with you. And then, finally he's like, oh, okay. He nods, right? And he lets out a sigh and then takes his back. He gives Tae the coconut and like takes out his actual comfortable running shoes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, thank God you have these shoes, man, because there's no way you'll make it alive with the dress shoes.
Yeah.
I love how he then bows and is like, please let me run without full uniform. My feet are dying.
Yeah.
And then Tae's like little head nod to the shrine, like, hey, let's go in.
Mm.
And so they pray, and then Tae's look of mischief after blowing air at Oyu's face. And then O blowing back, sticking a tongue out. It's like, okay, now they're recovering, right? They run through the classroom, and then the run toward the Cape begins, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting because they like stop at the private beach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they hit up all their stopping grounds. Yeah. They're kind of, revisiting these memories. And there's so much. And as a viewer, you also get to revisit, some of these spots and relive some of those moments as you go. So they're kind of retracing their steps, like they're starting over yet again.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just funny because like I love Tae's facial expressions, like when they're like they both like lean their heads back, going like after drinking some coconut.
Yeah, I mean it's young coconut, right? It's like a young coconut juice.
So they drink it and they're like and then and then Tae gives like this like naughty look and just like starts running again. And I was like, oh fuck, do I have to? So they like run, they make it. And then once they make it, to the stairwell, the staircase down to that leads down to the Cape, where the pathway down, it's like, oh, the sun's not out. And Tae's like, hey, didn't we say the tip? And I was like, right. And then Tae's like, has to give him some encouragement, like, hey, does a uni student for Honest Art give up this easily? Come on, let's go. And then they walk down to the Cape together slowly, albeit, they don't want to trip and fall or anything. And O probably doesn't want to ruin his dress clothes. Yeah.
I think at this point, too, like, it's so clear in their relationship that, like, Tae is the one who pushes O, right? He pushes him, he motivates him, he inspires him, but he supports him the entire time.
Yeah.
And, like, as they discuss when they get to the end of the pier, and they kind of start chatting with each other, O basically realizes, like, man, I need you in my life. Like, you drive me, you push me forward, and I need you to be here, in whatever way, shape, or form, but I can't have you just disappear from before me.
But before that, right, he's like, me and Boss are friends again.
And they both talk about how, they're not in their relationships anymore.
Yeah, and O's like, what about us? And then Tae doesn't reply. Like, he's not sure. we know Tay wants to be in a relationship at this
we
point.
know he's sure, but he didn't say anything.
Know how to say it, right?
Yeah.
And so just like nods his head. He's like, okay, I understand. And then he goes through that, like, you know, whether we're friends again, whether we're rivals, whether you like me, whether you hate me, I don't give a damn anymore.
Yeah.
I just need you in my life.
Yeah.
And, like, can you do me a favor and not disappear again like that?
Yeah.
Like, you can be whatever you want with me, just stay in my life.
Yeah. He's kind of come to a point now where he's prepared to accept whatever it is.
Yeah.
But knowing that this is a person that he can't lose.
Yeah.
Right. And I think anyone, you know, who has been in that situation understands that feeling that like there are people in your world, in your life that you just cannot afford to lose.
Yeah. And like, actually, that's me.
Yeah, it's everyone. I mean, right? Like, that's what's so great about this movie. Everyone has someone like that in their life. And, you know, the prospect of losing them is too scary, you know, to make it worth any of that drama. Right.
Yeah. And so, like, I do love how it ends, right? Like, so O's a little crying. And then, like, Tay's like, well, if I can be anything. And then he pauses. And O, like, looks at him like, dude, you can't just, like, stop. Or at least that one. I was like, you can't just stop there, Tay. Keep going. Tay's like, well, basically, if I can be anything, then can I be your boyfriend? And O just, like, has this huge semi-breakdown, huge sigh of relief.
That was a beautiful part.
Yeah.
Where he just kind of collapses into
Tay's arm, and Tay hugs him and goes, I won't disappear ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was so beautiful and like a great way to end the show, or at least part one.
Yeah. And you feel the, you know, as this conversation is happening too, like you're kind of held in suspense, but you're hopeful that things are going to work out. And in the end, you feel that relief that O does. Yeah. Because you also know that Tay is kind of a new man at this point. He went through all of that anxiety around his family and what his family would think, and he made a lot of these big sacrifices, but he's prepared now to accept who he is and like what he wants and go after that with his intentions incredibly clear at this point.
Yeah.
So his character development is like through the roof at this point. And you as the viewer are just like, good job. You made it. You made it.
Yeah, you made it. He now knows he has at least Hoon on his side family-wise. And he knows O will probably back him up for sure, right? Like, you both love each other. Basically to the point where, like, you cause all this drama. It's like, and then, yeah, I mean, you see where Tay even before he confessed, right? He's like, I'll reach out to you first from now on, and O is like, whatever. No, I'll reach out to you first from now on. Because I think both of them are like, I don't think either of us is gonna do it, so let's just say we'll do it.
Let's promise that we're both gonna communicate now.
Yeah, so hopefully they communicate a bit better, or at least like one of them breaks the silence first, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and they do give a little preview of part 2 where they're at university, and clearly they're together.
I don't know if they had started classes yet, but the teaser at least has them in full uniform, so they might have started. Yeah, I feel like they probably started at least, because you wouldn't be in full uniform otherwise. So, yeah, I guess we'll see if what they're doing in Bangkok together.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm interested to know because we really don't have any other idea of what's going to happen, but we do know that Tay at least has acknowledged his feelings at this point, but you know, maybe there will be struggles with sexuality still, or identity, or family acceptance, like all those kind of struggles that we might have to see the two of them face in the sequel. So really excited, but I think that, you know, I'm very confident in the producers of the show that they're going to deliver something spectacular for the second season. I mean, this show already blew me away, gave me like way above the expectations that I had for it.
Yeah.
It's really in a league of its own. It stands on its own. It's a beautiful artistic piece, and it's for everyone. It's a great story for everyone.
Yeah.
And like you said, it takes you through the highs and the lows, and you feel so much, and you can relate so much to these two and what they go through over the course of it. Highly recommended. I mean, we just walked through basically the entire plot, so I'm assuming that everyone who's listened thus far probably has already seen the show, but hats off to the directors and producers, cast, really good job. We were incredibly moved, and first watch through, second watch through, it's just amazing. It's beautiful, very poignant. We're really spoiled by it. I don't think we're going to get anything like this anytime soon. So again, right, Alex?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm putting in the request for Netflix to add it.
Yeah, go request this on Netflix so that we can all watch it again and again and again, so that we can get Thai drama on the map for those in the United States who are missing out on some of this incredible storytelling. So with that, I guess we are going to wrap this this show.
Yeah. So thanks for listening. Highly recommend this show. It really is focused more on that like coming of age story versus boys love.
Yep.
So I mean, you could probably just tell even your straight friends without a preface, like you should go watch this.
Yep.
But yeah, so thanks for listening. Please leave us feedback, especially on our YouTube channel or YouTube episodes. That's the only way we can receive feedback comments at the moment. Mm-hmm. We will provide a link in our descriptions. So yes, please let us know. So yeah, thanks again for listening.
Yeah. And let us know what you want us to review next. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye. Bye.